The Toasty Awards are about half an hour away now. This is your little inside scoop, the behind the curtain look at the hosts. We have our beverages, we're warming up, and you get to see us just chew the fat a little before the audience spills in. I'm looking out the crowd. I can see, goodness gracious, it's Sabrina Carpenter. Oh, who else has come to watch live today? Oh, good golly, it's Sterling K. Brown.
Oh my
Gosh,
god, and
where's
is that Jimmy Carter? Oh, wait.
uh he ate the shrimp. No one say that he died moments ago as we record this. He ate the shrimp. Don't tell anyone. But we
He
thought
was
this would be a good
like,
opportunity.
I
Oh,
got
sorry,
this
sorry.
I was gonna say, he's like, I got this invitation to a podcast. Do I really have to go? Yes, Jimmy, you do. Dies.
Eat somewhere other than the Olive Garden ones. Fucking die.
Spoilers. That's spoilers right there.
uh,
Who knows for
but we
what?
thought this would be a good opportunity just to discuss things that may not occur organically within the Toasties, because that is pretty secular of movies, games, and shows. So we thought we would just get it out of our system. If there's anything that you would give a Toasty if we had a category for it, but it's only a finite show. Your favorites of 2024 as we head into 2025. Personally, I want to start from a place of music, because I feel like pop music has been back in a way that it really hasn't been in a long time. Like we're in the era of Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo. So I've just felt very, very involved in music to the point that I conquered my fear of concert. I went to see Lawrence by myself. Lawrence is good. I don't care what anyone on TikTok says. And it's the first concert I've been able to attend without having a full panic attack in the middle of the Red Rocks, because it was a more secluded, more chill venue. And Lawrence is always going to be so fucking special to me because of that. I would call that maybe my favorite thing, miscellaneous thing of 2024. So, just to get the ball rolling, where are y'all at?
That is true. Yeah, I would say, I mean, obviously, this year's been like a little turbulent for me. I came out, I got to record for a few really cool things that came out this year. Um, I mean, I know it's selfish to say, but I would honestly say those are the highlights. There's nothing quite like, recording in a booth, and then just like seeing the final product. I'd also say that this, like, speaking of the holidays, this Christmas was like extra special to me. It felt like the first Christmas in a while that was like an actual Christmas, and like exchanging gifts with Jay the morning of was just like it was like being like a kid again. And I think that moments like those don't come by often. I would say that one definitely, that was a fantastic way to end the year, just on an event like that.
It's fucking beautiful. I love that. Also, you saw Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh my fucking god, yeah, you're 100% right. I can't believe that I slipped that. I saw Electric Light Orchestra with my mom and Jay, and it was incredible. It was their last concert ever, which is pretty sad, but like, they've had a run that like many artists just like can't even compare to. And I could tell, like, just based on like up on the stage, that Jeff Lynne, who's the front man, is, he's getting up there in years. I think he's like 80 and he's still just like performing and rocking, but you can kind of tell that it's like, it's time for him to make more music. Maybe, because he's been making music pretty consistently. But do tours anymore? I think, like, he's done for that, and I think that's okay. I think it was a great final show. They ended on Mr. Blue Sky. They didn't play Twilight, which I was a little miffed at, but I think that might just be like I don't know, like, I feel like Time in particular is like a weird spot in Electric Light Orchestra's history where it wasn't well received when it came out, but now a lot of people, including myself, consider it like an all-timer.
I see.
But yeah, 2024 is the year we say goodbye to Jeff Lynne touring, and, you know, thank you Electric Light Orchestra for, you know, just creating songs that are consistently my favorites, and just being an incredible band, and all you've brought to the world.
And where was their venue?
It was at the Kia Forum.
Oh, that's right. I was wondering, I'm going to want the lowdown at some point. We don't have to do it now. Because that's where I'm seeing Dua Lipa next year.
Uh-huh.
Her Royal... If the concert I see her at is anything like her fucking Royal Albert Hall show, I think I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Because I watched the televisation of that, An Evening with Dua Lipa, and it was like the most electricity I felt by a musical performance, I think. And I'm not even joking.
Oh yeah, it definitely, like, from the clip you showed me, it just seems insane.
Yeah. Sorry, David, that's enough of me being gay. Well, where's your head at?
Well, so do you want me to list, like, everything from this year, or just, like, my favorite right now? Or, because I put down quite a few things.
No, of course. Start with one that you think we could branch off of, I guess, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay. The Game Awards were actually good this year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we didn't have an episode to talk about any of the news, huh?
No, because that was this month.
No. Split, like, fucking, they said Split Fiction. They made it look like a fucking end of the year, game of the year material thing. And they're like, and yeah, 3 months. No, when so many times they're like, we have a concept of this game and you might get it before the 2030s. And they're like, oh yeah, March, hang in there.
It was very refreshing.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was really fucking good. We got that Superman trailer, not at the Game Awards, but just like in that orbit. Does not look half bad.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Trying to be cautiously optimistic, but I am, you know what? They kind of sold me.
I'm glad
honestly,
that
a bunch of great announcements and stuff from just like the last couple months in pretty much every industry.
That's true. Yeah. Clive and Tekken.
Oh yeah.
No Tifa, but like they made him work.
Right. I was skeptical at first, but I was just like, all right, yeah.
Were there?
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, were there any other things that you enjoyed this year, Davey?
I got like a pretty big list of them.
Keep going.
Okay, so in my personal life, we'll get that out of the way first, the boring stuff. I got a new job that's fully remote, it pays better, it's pretty awesome. It's definitely freed up a lot of things for myself, including being able to move over to California next year and make the name of this podcast actually true. At least 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah.
And I did end up visiting California a couple times. Some of the highlights from that was when I got a Tony Zarrett video for my birthday.
Oh yeah! Shout out to Tony Zarrett. This Toasties. I hate walkable cities.
Got some wonderful audio clips from that. Went to Disneyland a few times. Went to the Huntington Botanical Gardens, and those were pretty awesome. And saw Interstellar in IMAX this most recent time. That was a very great experience.
Oh, yeah.
And other things in my personal life in terms of my health, I was hospitalized for 9 days, and I'm not saying that was great, but the feeling of finally getting out on that last day was awesome. And
do you remember, Dav? Because they didn't get a podcast that month. They all know. All right.
I know. Yeah, I'm rubbing it in.
I'm joking.
But yeah, I mean, after that, I started going to the gym pretty regularly, and that has been pretty awesome as well. I just kind of overall feel a lot better now. We went to the Botanica Gardens, the like 2 light shows. There was the Halloween one and the Christmas one. Those were both pretty stellar.
Oh yeah, those were amazing.
This was the year we went to Casa Bonita, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, that was cool.
Saw the redesign of that. And it was honestly pretty good. I mean, the food was good. They had a weird, creepy maze for some reason, and we went through that a few
Lifeguard's
times.
Cave.
Yeah.
I'm all about weird, creepy mazes.
Hand in hand with that, Colorado got its first Buc-ee's. You got to get that in there.
Yeah, Buc-ee's was in there. And then, some shout-outs to music. Fujikaze dropped Michi Teiyuku this year, and it was fucking awesome. And I don't really follow VTubers much, but Hoshimachi Suisei dropped the Bibbidi-Ba music video, and that's actually like it's probably one of my favorite music videos from this year. It was pretty great.
Can I say my favorite music video of the year?
Oh, go for
No, you're disallowed.
No. Taste by Sabrina Carpenter, the one where she's fighting with Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, that was really good too.
That one is really cool.
Oh man, yeah. Like everyone loves espresso. I love espresso. That's like peak Sabrina, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was a pretty great one. In terms of independent animation, Speedaroo's Punch Punch Forever Episode 2 dropped this year, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I toasted that on a previous episode, but that's the series seems to be taking off pretty well. They released their merch and stuff, so I think they're really going all in on it, which is great. And at the very beginning of the year, Smash Remix's 1.5 update dropped, and that was their final release. They added the Dragon Fighter. I think that was also the one with Banjo and Kazooie. And development has stopped on that project, and it overall came out to be a really fantastic project, in my opinion.
That was this year, because I feel like we played those characters a long ass time ago. Maybe it was like
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, that was like first week of January.
Oh, okay, all right, because you were all in town. Okay.
Yep. And
sorry.
Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Can I plug an additional web content, or were you about to move on?
Go for it.
Death Battle, specifically Bowser versus Eggman, is peak fiction.
Right, yeah.
That was fucking amazing. It got me to get my 3DS repaired and buy a copy of Bowser's Inside Story. I can't wait to tell y'all about that game probably next month. It's like one of my new favorites.
Nice, and I can't wait to tell you how to hack your 3DS.
Oh, yeah.
Surprising. Oh, that was another thing that happened this year. Jay homebrewed my 3DS, and now it's like all tricked out. It's got custom loading screens.
Yeah.
Get any fucking video game you want. It's wonderful. In terms of like news headlines, Tango Gameworks, which was shut down by Microsoft and kind of temporarily doomed Hi-Fi Rush and made me very sad, was rescued when it was acquired by South Korean publisher Krafton. So Hi-Fi Rush will probably live on, and it sounds like they're working on a sequel. So fuck yeah.
That is wonderful news.
It's not gonna have Lonely Boy though, so what's the point?
It could.
Good.
And finally, I think the kind of the biggest headline from this year that we've kind of been neglecting to mention. This was like a huge like sports thing, but bowler Wade Whipple defeated his deadbeat father Pistol Pete.
Oh my god!
By bowling a perfect game at the National Bowling Championship in Reno, Nevada, and I think that just really proves that dreams can come true.
You know what though? I'm glad you like Knuckles so much.
Y'all hear about that ultimate life form that was found in Tokyo?
No.
Where he looks at a big screen. He looks at a big screen and it says 2024, and he's like, so it's been 50 years, which directly places him in 1974. Which fucking means that Shadow knows who Ronald Reagan is.
Yeah, of course he does. He made him.
Oh. Gosh, let's see. Y'all read any good books? Did we say books yet?
I don't know. I haven't really read many like traditional books. I did read a few more like Junji Ito manga in October. Those were pretty good.
Oh yeah. Finished up. I think it was this year. I finished up House of Leaves, and that was really good.
I think it was, yeah.
I read a really good self-help book called T-Shirt Swim Club. Because I guess my most personal note would have to do a lot with my weight gain or body weight issues. I would say it's just something I've struggled with all my life. If you've ever listened to this and been like, "Oh, that guy must be really fit because he sits around talking about video games," it's like, So it probably shouldn't come as too much a shocker. I think that is like one of the most compassionate books, like written about the topic of losing weight and the issues connected to body weight, both physically and like socially. That I think it's like what the fat little kid needed back in the day. The author is Ian Carmel, very funny man, really funny comedian, but also struggled a lot with losing and gaining a lot of weight. And he speaks on it, honestly, and even like he doesn't sugarcoat anything, no pun intended, but genuine approaches it just like verbalizes things I did not know were universal about being a fat guy. That's T-Shirt Swim Club. It's actually, and you know what? The holidays throw me off my weight loss. Like last year, I lost 30 pounds, and I was super happy about it. And this year, and then holidays, birthday happened, and they just fucked me over. And I haven't fully gotten back on the wagon, but I've reshed a lot of that weight. I'm kind of headed back to that point. And yeah, that book helps me feel comfortable processing all of that and going through that. That's my big recommendation there.
Oh,
That's really inspiring to hear. I love when honestly books in particular have such profound effects like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's very important if whether you're not, if you have problems with weight or not. I think it's an important read, just even to help you understand where people come from. Yeah. Ooh. Let's see. Got a little time. What else did I do?
Weren't we gonna do the other categories, biggest?
Okay, let me ask. Do you think we could knock those out here, or should we wait for the others?
I think we could just knock them out here. I don't see why not.
Okay. Do you agree, David?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So, I did plan kind of mini categories for before the main... Okay, yeah, let's do it. Pre-show categories. Our first award of the evening is for Biggest Shit Show. The nominees are Concord, Joker Folly Abu, Megalopolis, Uzumaki, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
I know for this we're all kind of deciding as a group. I would like to okay, so I think objectively it's Concord. Because it costs so much money, they literally piss that money down the drain. However,
yes,
I am going to personally put my hat in for Uzumaki. Because no one ever expected Concord to be anything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Uzumaki was supposed to be incredible, and it wasn't just not incredible, it sucked.
See, on a similar quarter, I think Joker Folie à Deux is maybe even more embarrassing.
See, I think that is definitely a fair point. I would say... Yeah, I mean, especially because of how it ended up turning out, I think that is a fair take.
What do you think, Dav?
So... I think that there is a lot of merit for Uzumaki. given, well, especially with like how honestly good the first episode was, and then the drop in quality.
The fucking PNG being dragged down the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, there's something so tragic and disastrous and satisfying about Concord, in the sense that while yes, nobody thought it was really going to be anything, I don't think anybody anticipated just how badly it was going to go, because so many live service games like come out and they are mediocre,
And they run in the background for a serviceable amount of time.
right? They stick
Yeah.
around long enough to like leave any sort of mark. But Concord was basically like this game that looked awful to the average player, but very attractive to the average investor. And Astrobot was advertised and was basically the opposite. Like, it looked fun as fuck, but it also was like risky. And it completely just wiped the floor with anything else Sony did this year. It won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. And Concord got an episode in Secret Level. And that's its legacy.
So, okay, I think it's this. Do we give it to Concord because it's arguably the more sad scenario, or Joker, which I think is definitively the funnier of the two?
I think
That Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix were both like, we have no desire to do a sequel. And then Warner Brothers just opened up a big enough suitcase of money. And they were like, okay. And then punished us for their hubris. And then in every interview after, just kind of shrugs and is like, I didn't think it was so bad. I don't know what to tell you about it.
Well, I see.
I think if it's down to those two, if Uzumaki is not a contender, then I do think it's Concord based on one thing. You can still watch Joker Folie Deux. You cannot play Concord.
I think that seals it. Should we lock in?
I think so.
I think so.
All right. The winner of the 2024 biggest shit show is Concord.
Yay.
Next award is for Best Hype Cycle. Kind of the opposite. Even regardless of how much we like the final product, what had the best waiting period? The nominees are Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, the Capcom Fighting Collection, Long Legs, Wicked, and Smiling Friends.
That was a weird way to say glicked. I think for my 2 cents, because it's hype cycle, right?
Yeah.
Then I think it goes to Sparking Zero. Because, like, even as someone who did not grow up with Dragon Ball, I'm just getting into it now. I had to become a woman to watch Dragon Ball. But, like, even as someone who, like, never watched a single episode, I knew how big of a deal the Tenkaichi games were. Or the Tenkaichi Budokai, whichever one is, like, Sparking Zero is similar to. And the fact that it has been so long, and people have been asking for this game for so long, and the roster is, like... I mean, obviously it does have, like, every Goku, and it's missing a lot of, like, characters, like, where the fuck is Nam?
But the fact that they tricked us about how many characters we had...
I was just gonna bring that up.
They showed a big character select, and we're like, okay, about 160. Gotcha. Then in the very last trailer, the grid fills up, and Goku goes, we're not done yet! And it gets bigger, and then it just, like, throws these haymakers with the movie characters. Like, Android 13, Chew Garlic Jr.,
Oh boy, Garlic Jr.
That was pretty amazing.
I think, and I'm saying this as somebody who, like, has never seen an episode of Dragon Ball, I have to give it to Sparking Zero as well, because, it was kind of, there was no way to avoid the hype around that. I'm not exactly on fighting game Twitter, but I was seeing so much fucking Goku and shit. And all of this kind of, like, on the fucking tail of Akira Toriyama passing away this year. Like, it was just this huge event.
100%. I was largely on the same page as both of you. The only one I wanted to see if it could really hold a candle was Capcom Fighting Collection.
Capcom, I think that is definitely a solid number 2, and I think it is very monumental.
Solid, but perhaps distant number 2.
Yeah, I would say I think the only thing that, like, puts it over is that it is a collection of games that have already existed. Now, having MVC2 on console is insane. That is my favorite fighting game ever. But if there's nothing new there, which is why I think Sparking Zero takes it.
Okay. Then I think we're ready to lock in that the 2024 Best Hype Cycle Award goes to Sparking Zero.
Yay.
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Sorry, that was very casual.
Please, Mr. Zero was my father. You can call me Sparking.
Next category, Best Junk Food. The stuff that you know isn't the most high class, but, like, come on. Our nominees are Red 1, Terrifier 3, Venom: The Last Dance, Marvel Rivals, and Multiverses.
I gotta lock in Terrifier 3 for this. There's a scene, it's not it's a spoiler, but, like, not who it is. There's a scene where Art the Clown is cutting a guy in half from the bottom up, and they overlay a, like, Christmas carol choir singing a song about, like, called It's a Terrifier Christmas. And I don't think, like, anything has reached that level of, like, insane goofy. Hey, Troy!
Hey, Troy! Hey, Troy, you clicked the link. I see you in here. Good job, bud.
Blobby, blobby, blobby!
Thanks,
Anyways.
Troy. Alright, Will. Sorry, Troy, we're still in the pre-show, but you can still... It's alright, you can hang out. We'll cut to commercial, and we'll be like, so, we were just giving the award for Best Junk Food. Some of our audience has arrived. Hi, Troy.
Hey, Troy.
There. Hello, Tommy, Will, Gav, and Jay.
Don't worry, Troy. We'll still have a full opening ceremony. We're just in pregame right now. The boat I really want to get behind is actually Marvel Rivals. Because if you told me Marvel Hero Shooter, I think I would leap out a window. And the fact that this not only is pretty competent, but, like, excels in some things, I think is kind of a miracle.
I hate that the one that I really only have the experience with of this list is Venom 3. But I'm not gonna give it to that because it's kind of, I don't know, it's just
Dav, Miss Chen, Squirrel Girl.
So here's the thing. So regardless of Squirrel Girl, my choice is probably gonna go to Marvel Rivals as well, because I used to have a big problem with Overwatch, and it genuinely, like, was a negative influence on my life and led to a lot of terrible shit. But, like, I ended up quitting it a few years ago, and everything has been better ever since, and Marvel Rivals, of all games, is, like, making it very difficult. It's making me want to relapse and play a hero shooter, and I love the character designs in it. I love kind of how ethical this game has been, as far as we can tell, with, like, keeping the gambling down to a minimum and shit. And I think that if a hero shooter has to come out, it would be, like, it's got to be this one, because it's genuinely, it looks like a good, well-designed product.
Yeah, I
Well,
think that
yeah,
is. I think that's fair. But yeah, Squirrel Girl, Art the Clown, like. No, I think Marvel Rivals is definitely like a fair choice for it. The thing I think that like depresses me a bit about Marvel Rivals is every time I like watch it, I'm like, this could have been a fighting game. This would have been a good roster for a Marvel fighting game. I just I mean, obviously
we have stuff like, I think how well the Capcom collection is doing is kind of steering us in that direction, though.
That's true. I definitely hope I hope that we do get like another Marvel versus Capcom, or even like I'd be fine with just like a Marvel style game made, or like a Marvel style game made by Capcom with just Marvel characters.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But okay, on that note, we will crown the 2024 best junk food to Marvel Rivals. All right. Best sleeper hit. Something we didn't think would be so great and turned out to be, you know, kind of a big deal. Our nominees are The Substance, Ted, Fallout, Look Back, and Arzette and the Jewel of Faramore.
Remind me, can you say the name of the category again?
Best sleeper hit.
Okay, so here's the thing, and why I'm nominating Ted, because Ted should, like, by all means, should not be good, and it really is. It's really funny. Like, Arzette, Substance, Look Back, all of those are, like, fantastic, but, like, I feel like there were expectations that it was going to be good. I think everyone thought Ted was gonna suck, and it ended up being, like, hilarious. I think that can't quite be understated.
I mean, there's been that whole meme going around, like, with Ted just running at an incredible speed, like,
Right.
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
You drive a hard bargain. I'm still kind of behind The Substance for this one. I just feel like that movie taps on ideas that just, like, it reached, like, just such a strange cross-section of audiences, I feel. How about you, Dav?
This is a tough one. You know, I think it's gotta be Ted. That I had rock bottom and below expectations for that show, and it turned out to be better than either of the movies. So
my gut tells me it should be The Substance or maybe even Fallout before Ted. Like, I just feel, I want it on paper, I feel strongly about that, but I guess if I'm truly outvoted.
Then the winner is Ted!
Alright, I guess we'll lock it in. The winner of 2024 Best Sleeper Hit is Ted. Did I hear Brandon?
Both Brandon and Jay came in.
Oh, wonderful.
Got all the judges here.
Make yourselves comfortable. We still have one more group award before the ceremony. The final group award, pre-show award, is Best Guest Surprise. If I called it, I almost called this Best Cameo, but I'm sure on some technicalities some of these aren't. I didn't want anyone riding my dick about it. You know what I mean. That's the best description I can give. The nominees are Channing Tatum as Gambit in Deadpool and Wolverine, Ghostface as a playable character in Mortal Kombat 1, Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel as the Emerald City players in Wicked, Terry Bogard as a playable character in Street Fighter VI, and Doug Walker as Daniel the Demon Hunter in Smiling Friends.
I don't think we even have to like, we all know the answer.
For the record, it's Daniel the Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Hey, it's hello, I'm Daniel the Demon Slayer. I slay demons, so you don't have to.
I don't care. I'm voting for that.
Me too. I'm voting for that.
All right, you're fucking outnumbered, Tommy. No matter what you vote for.
I was kind of on the fence about that one. I guess I'll just never forget. I don't know if I told this story on the podcast, but I was just like scrolling Twitter the night that episode came out, and I just saw that, and I just said out loud, "We can't watch the new Smiling Friends, everybody." and Brandon goes, "Why not?" And I just kind of show him my phone. He kind of quietly takes it in and goes, "Yeah, sorry, no." And the winner of Best Guest Surprise 2024 goes to Doug Walker in his stunning role as Daniel the Demon Slayer in Smiling Friends Season 2.
Now, before we continue, this
Troy
is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club.
Okay.
Let's go skip ahead this part. All right, everyone to your seats. The lights come down. The opening song is about to begin.
Water and insulin and shit. Hold on.
Okay.
Here,
Yeah, you got a second. Grab something from the concession stand. A little champagne. Take your shoes off. Well, all I ask is now is that we all be seated for the opening ceremony. Excuse me. Sorry. Scooch over. Sorry. Scooch over. Will, you're gonna sit by. You're gonna go sit over there by Hillary Duff. Okay.
Oh my God, Hillary Duff!
That's the seat I wanted.
Troy, you're by William Shatner. Someone has to sit with Shatner. Someone has to sit with Shatner. Go
Someone
on.
has to shit with Shatner.
Someone has to shit. Peter Piper picked up, pickle, pecker. That was actually my vocal warm-ups. Okay. Shh. Now he's think about me every night. Oh, that's that me Belatro. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's that me Belatro. Pulled up, down, left, right. Oh, that's that me Belatro. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's that me Belatro. Baby, why don't you come over? Red wine furiosa, fall right into me. I don't care if you're a stoner. Red wine furiosa, fall right into me. I guess the astro don't fall far from the tree, 'cause I've been looking at you so long now I only see me. I want to throw the astro into the sky, feels like you never understand me, so I just want to drive to the astrobot, the astrobot, the astrobot, the astrobot. This is not going nearly as fast as I thought it would. Oh man, I'm gonna have to
I feel like I can hear you hurting yourself.
You know, it makes sense that that Belatro says is keeping people up at night, because the first night I played it, I stayed up till 4 a.m.
See, that's kind of what I was saying. See, it was almost that's that hedgehog shadow, but I like
that would
the
have been a good
poetic
one.
connection. Yeah. And if you find yourself in a dark situation, just turn on your light and be like, Wick, Ed, say that shit with your chest, and be Alphaba's best friend. Is that something? Because it was also Ariana. I thought that was pretty good.
That's true. I give it a pass.
Yeah.
I'll give that verse a life.
You should know I need someone to hold me close. Metaphor-y fantasio, whose love feels like a rodeo. Metaphor-y fantasio, when I'm vulnerable. Metaphor-y fantasio, Conversation overload, metaphory, fantasy. Oh, a little more on the nose.
It hit me like a sack of bricks when you said it.
Can I do a little parody?
Yeah, yes.
Dun, 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 you would not believe your eyes. This year Aerith died.
Aerith?
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out.
Aerith. I completely misheard you. I was like, who's Aerith? You think you the Jin, bitch? You ain't even Rage Arts. I go in it hard. God, I'm tacking they hearts like Kazuya be quick, but I'm quicker. Kazuya be thick, but I'm thicker. She could be rich, but I'm richer. Damn. Last one, I feel like I might get in trouble, and should I do it anyway?
Yeah, it's the Toasties. You can't legally get in trouble on the last day of the year.
Yeah, I'm not in trouble at all. Trying to strike a chord, but it was probably a minor. They Beetlejuice, they Beetlejuice, they Beetlejuice, they Beetlejuice, they Beetlejuice. It was almost Alien Romulus, but the syllables didn't quite go as well.
Beetlejuice did also like try to marry a child.
Yeah, like it connects. It connects. It's like poetry. It rhymes. All right. Thank you for the uproarious applause. Okay, well, we're on to the first full award of the evening. We're starting in the circles of. We didn't introduce everybody. So, if you're just coming in from the pre-show, all of our judges have arrived. We've got Troy Bowen, the world heavyweight champion fisherman.
Hello, Toasties.
We've got Brandon, who's had his tonsils removed twice.
Salutations.
And we have Jay, who saw Incredible Hulk in their apartment, and that's real.
I'm being paid in fantasy. Fuck! I had that planned for so long and I fucked it up so hard. Alright, I'm Jay.
Getting paid in fantasy?
I was gonna say I'm getting paid in Santa Fe chicken sandwiches and I'm Jay.
Oh.
So if I could just like redo that and you can edit it, that's fine too.
No, actually, I'm gonna take the one you messed up and put it in 3 times.
Yeah.
Gonna like YouTube poop it to be like, I'm Jay and I eat babies.
I'm being paid in fantasy. Fuck! I'm being paid in fantasy. Fuck! I'm being paid in fantasy. Fuck!
Editor, make sure after Tommy is done singing that you put in like the Nickelodeon iCarly like cheering stock sound effects.
Yeah.
Guys, I got one. You guys
Yeah.
get paid with chicken sandwiches in Santa Fe, and their name is Jay.
Yeah.
It's all rhyme.
Way to go, Troy. Well, it's time to present our first award of the evening. Will Engel is taking the stage. She's wearing a Versace. She looks fabulous. Everyone's losing their minds. Will, please start us off with your presentation of the Harrison Ford Award for your favorite performance of the year.
All right. These are the nominees for the Harrison Ford Award. We have Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok in Nosferatu, Masanori Shinohara as Kazuya Mishima in Tekken 8, Cody Christian as Cloud Strife in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hugh Grant as Mr. Reed in Heretic, and Demi Moore as Elizabeth in The Substance. And the winner of the Harrison Ford Award is Cody Christian as Cloud Strife. Here's the thing about Final Fantasy VII, it's my favorite game ever, and Cloud is a character that I feel like gets vastly, like, misinterpreted. Everyone kind of thinks, oh, Cloud is like the edgy emo boy who, like, sulks a bunch. And that is, I won't lie, that is an aspect of his character, but I think even more so than Remake, Cody Christian absolutely becomes Cloud in this game. Because Cody Christian, and of course, like, the awesome directing team too, I assume, understands that Cloud is a bit of, like, an edgy sad boy, but he's also awkward as fuck. There are scenes in this where it's clear that, like, Cloud is finally bonding with his comrades and getting to, like, truly love them. There are scenes where, like, Aerith and Tifa will be hitting on him, and he'll just kind of, like, make a noise and, like, shake his head. And even just, like, the little noise and, like, his little, like, grunts and stuff are so good. There's a scene where Aerith is giving a speech, and you can select an option to smile at her, and Cloud's smile is, like, completely awkward, like he's never done it before, which is really funny. But back to the performance, Cody Christian also understands that Cloud is a facade. If you played the original Final Fantasy VII, you know that the person that we know as Cloud from the beginning is actually a persona that he puts on after basically going crazy. And in this game, the facade really starts to come down. Because Cloud still, you know, jests with his team, but you really hear in Cody Christian's performance that he's starting to, like, trust these people, and he's starting to become vulnerable again, which really gives the ending an impact, because obviously, you know what happens at the end of one Final Fantasy VII disc. There's a scene in particular where Barrett has been accused of murdering someone, and in the previous game, you know that Cloud would just be like, I knew it, this fucking asshole. But in this game, he's very quiet until he confronts Barrett, and he just says, tell me it wasn't you. I feel like that is such good writing, and Cody Christian just delivers it perfectly. Because I like Steve Burton as Cloud, but he very much stays in the same point. Cody Christian really gives him, like, a whole range of emotions. He lets Cloud have fun, he lets him laugh. There's scenes where Cloud is being, like, manipulated by Sephiroth, and the way that he, like, channels Tyler Hoechlin's performance of Sephiroth into his performance of Cloud is insane. There's a scene where he's talking with Tifa, and he's kind of explaining, like, his mental fortitudes, and he says this line where he says, I don't think I know who I am anymore. And there's, like, this, for the first time ever in this performance, you hear Cloud's voice, like, crack, and he almost starts to tear up. And that is the kind of subtlety that Cody Christian brings to this role that makes him the definitive Cloud. Cloud is my favorite character ever. Cody Christensen has not just taken on the role of Cloud and made that special role for me even more special in doing it justice, but he's also taken Cloud to areas that I've never expected. Like, I feel like with the Final Fantasy VII cast, there's always, like, one line reading that's, like, bad. There's nothing for that for Cody Christian. There's a scene where he accidentally attacks Tifa and thinks he killed her, and all he does is fall to his knees and just, it's kind of like a, Zack scene, but he just falls to his knees, and his, like, all the seriousness that was in his voice melts away, and he just screams at the top of his lungs, Tifa! And it's just, like, it's a beautiful performance. I think it's an all-timer for video game performances, possibly my favorite video game performance ever. I truly think that Cody Christensen deserves the overall award, because not only does he take one of the most iconic characters ever and do a great job with him, but he takes this character and he gives him life that he's never had anywhere else. He has made Cloud, in just one part of a 3-part game, a fully fleshed out person that you see every side of. I fucking love this performance, so my award goes to Cody Christian as Cloud Strife.
That's really compelling. No, I'm not gonna lie. That's said a mouthful. That really wins me over.
Yeah, I really appreciate his performance playing through that game. It did feel like there was a lot of nuance to it. I really loved seeing how they were kind of treating the character this time around. All right, well, I think I'm up next if I remember correctly. So,
What was the name of your acting award again?
what was it last year?
It was the voice of Arthur Morgan, I think.
Oh, yeah, Roger Clark.
It's the Roger Clark Award.
Yep. So the nominees for the Roger Clark Award for Best Performance of 2024 are as follows: Joseph Tweedale as Luis Guillaburn in Metaphor Fantasio. Josh Hartnett as Cooper, aka The Butcher, aka John Trapp in Trap. Ryland Hughes as Gene Kayak in Hundreds of Beavers. Demi Moore as Elizabeth in The Substance. And Sunny Chen as Jiao in 1000 Times Resist. And the award goes to Joseph Tweedale as Luis Guillaburn, the main antagonist of Metaphor Fantasio. He knocked it out of the fucking park. This was his first major role in a video game. His IMDb only has like 10 credits, and most of them are like Doctor Who audio dramas. But he's just this fantastic villain. In the setting, to give some context, he's basically trying to politically take control of the entire nation, and I think pretty much the entire world. He's just basically after total domination. So he's like gone in and murdered the sitting monarch, and he's leading the way in the sort of election that follows after that. And he is just this imposing guy. Like, you look at him and you get like the impression that he's like an angel. He has this very angelic look to him. He's got like this long flowing blonde hair and these blue eyes, and he is just commanding as hell. And Joseph Tweedale's performance just really sells that. It is commanding, it is intimidating. It's like every single thing he says is just oozing with like patronization and like disgust for anything that is below him as far as he determines. He is like objectively just a ruthless, horrible person, and every time he talks, it's like, in a sort of typical like Persona game, or just really any sort of JRPG with an English dub. Every performance, especially lately, can be fantastic, but even in this game, which does have just an amazing cast of voice actors, like every time Luis speaks, like you perk up and you start paying attention, because he is just he just demands it in every single way. He's very steadfast by his ideals, and like as much as you kind of both hate and love him, you know that it's going to be absolutely impossible to change his mind, and you think like, oh, it'd be so satisfying to like show this stupid, horrible person the errors of their ways. You just know that's impossible, because no matter what happens, he's always going to stand by what he believes in, and he's going to hate everything around him. It's just like one of the best villain performances I've ever heard, and so that's why I think it deserves the award this year.
He feels like our first like Lysanderoth that we haven't had in a long time.
Yeah, honestly.
Like
Yeah.
we've had Goro Akechi, who's great, but like not as ever present as like a true, oh, you want to challenge me kind of
Yeah.
guy. All right. Well, congratulations, Mr. Tweedleman, for winning the Sears Award. This takes us to
Tweedale.
Tweedale. I'm sorry, my bad. I genuinely tried to. That
He has
wasn't
an
me
evil
making
twin named Joseph Tweedum.
Tweedale. This takes us to the Sylvester Stallone Award for my favorite performance of the year. And the nominees are Hugh Jackman as Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine, Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice in Beetlejuice. Ella Purnell as Lucy McClane in Fallout, Kristen Milioti as Sofia Gigante in The Penguin, and Anya Taylor-Joy as Imperator Furiosa in Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. And the winner of the Sylvester Stallone Award is Ella Purnell for her role as Lucy McClane in Fallout.
Oh shit!
Consider me surprised. I thought that was a lock-in for Ms. Taylor-Joy.
You
Me
know,
too.
there's others.
I was expecting-
There's plenty of trophies to go around, and I would also say, similar to Io last year, Ella kind of gets it on an annual um, achievement recognition place. This was also her return as Jinx in Arcane, where she's really as terrific as ever in that role. You can barely, like, frankly, I find it like she just escapes to such a completely different place than when she's Lucy. It's two true polar opposite characters, but she just has that insane range that I think very few people, in TV or film are working with. In the way that Lucy, she's distinct and like obviously very beautiful as Lucy, but in many ways, how she embodies that character is like the factory settings of a naive human just set out into the world. And that is like with her with her big old milk dish eyes and just like very like capable of being unassuming, but at the same time never stupid. Like she never struck me as like a fully ignorant protagonist, just maybe a naive one and a likably one that you can follow in that regard. And I think that that is light years from how conniving and manic she is as Jinx. Obviously totally different character. I don't think that the success she's seen this year could have happened to someone with, more of a breadth of talents that way.
I did think she was great in both shows. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Fallout, but she was very good as Jinx.
Hmm. And I would also say makes that character a little more worthwhile than she is in the games, brings a nuance that isn't there from what I've observed.
I would
Yeah, but that's true
say
for
she
pretty much every
definitely.
character in the show.
Yeah.
I would say she definitely brings something that isn't present in the games, and that is that you don't have to play League of Legends to experience Arcane.
That's fair. And that's all the reason we need to give Ella Purnell the award, the Sylvester Stallone Award. So, now we bring in our panel of judges to take home the total crown of performers. Last year it went to Will for her choice of Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara in Beyond into the Spider no, sorry, Across the Spider-Verse, which feels bananas that was last year when it feels like kind of ages ago, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
so long ago.
So which
Yeah,
of our
Troy?
sorry?
Sorry, I thought I heard Troy go, also Will.
You gotta say it didn't feel that long ago. Didn't
Yeah.
feel so long ago, honestly, for me.
So we need to know who the crown of performance goes to between Will's choice of Cody Christian as Cloud, Dav's choice of Joseph Tweedale in Metaphor Fantasio. Sorry, the character escaped me for a moment.
Louise Squeeburn.
Louise Cleaver, thank you. And my choice of Ella Purnell as Lucy in Fallout. Brandon, we'll start with you.
Gosh, I'm gonna have to go with Ella Purnell, just because I did really like her performance in Fallout. I think it's pretty perfect how she can act like innocent and unknowing, and then she gets thrown into this like terrible wasteland, and you kind of see her like shedding that innocence in a way. But
Oh yeah.
she can also stay like true to herself. So it's just kind of like this complex scenario that I think she plays out pretty well.
I appreciate that. Jay, how shall you cast your vote?
That's a great question. I'm kind of torn between Metaphor ReFantasio and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Just because I didn't enjoy the Fallout show as much as I think a lot of people did. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
That's fair.
She did very, very well in that, but I don't think it would, not better than the other two from what I've heard.
Mhm.
Because they are just absolutely phenomenal. It feels like they were given, like, just like a few instructions on how to play this character, and it just snapped with them, and they got it for both of them. They feel like living, breathing people in this, like, in these games. But I think I'm gonna go with Dav's choice ultimately, just because I think Cloud has been played so many times, and it feels more refreshing to have a villain like Louise. So I think I'm gonna go with Dav's choice.
All right.
Okay. Troy, it's all to you now.
Well, Will really hyped up Cloud's voice actor, Christian.
Cody Christian? Yeah,
Christian.
he's fantastic.
Christian.
So are you going with Cloud?
I think I'll go with Cloud.
All right.
Why don't we start with the judges just do it, and then if it creates like another tie somehow, then we do it.
That's a good
Okay.
idea.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair. Okay, so rank the 3 performances from best to worst.
Okay, I guess I'll start with, I'll say second place for me would be probably Cody Christensen, or Christian, which is his last name.
Yeah, Cody Christian. So that, and then third place would be not Ella Purnell, Joseph Tweedledee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh wait, then that means Cloud does win because Jay said they were debating between.
Right.
Yeah.
Jay would place Cloud second by default. And we know Troy is. Okay, yeah, all right. So I suppose Will twice in a row takes the crown of performance for her choice of Cody Christian as Cloud, who is
Honestly,
our performance of the year. Sorry.
I was gonna say honestly, like I feel like this is the award that I kind of wanted most this year.
Yeah.
Besides like maybe one other. Final Fantasy VII is just such a special story to me. And, like, the fact that we got a Cloud that's, like, as good as Cody Christian made him. And also, like, you look at interviews, and Cody Christian is just, like, in love with Final Fantasy. He's like, when I got the part, I called my brother. I was like, do you remember when we played this?
It is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's not like ironically, because mine was a Harrison Ford award, a Harrison Ford character where he's like, I hate Han Solo, I want Han Solo to get his head chopped off. Cody Christian doesn't, like, he cares a lot about Cloud, but he also cares about making sure that, like, the fans are happy, and I think he does a great job. Anyways, that's my acceptance speech on behalf of Cody Christian.
All right.
Very well deserved.
Yeah. That takes us to our playable character circle. So we're once again back to Will, who's going to present the Metagross Award for her favorite character of the year. Playable character of the year.
All right. So, my nominees for the best playable character of the year are Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Dio Brando from, ironically, Dragon Ball FighterZ through a mod, Bergamo from Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Victor Chevalier from Tekken 8, and Astrobot from Astrobot. And the winner is Victor Chevalier! Listen, I can't believe that out of all places, my favorite Tekken character is from France. But here we are. Victor Chevalier is the coolest newcomer that I think I have seen in a modern day fighting game franchise. I love Mortal Kombat, but none of the Combat Kids or like a lot of the new characters they put out ring for me. I think that Street Fighter's new characters are just straight up awful. But then Tekken 8 comes in with 3 new characters: Reina Mishima, who kicks ass, Azucena, who is obsessed with coffee and also really cool, and then the coolest one, Victor Chevalier, voiced by Vincent Cassel. Now, first of all, according to fans of Tekken, they say that getting Vincent Cassel to voice a character in Tekken is like getting Brad Pitt to do the same. Like, that's how big of a deal it is. He is descended from a long line of knights, and he is a cyber ninja samurai John Wick assassin with shades and the coolest sword you've ever fucking seen. Victor takes what is fun to play about weapon characters in Tekken, like Yoshimitsu, and ups it to 1 billion because he has all the weapons. Tekken 8 is a fantastic game. The gameplay is super smooth, and there are a lot of characters I love playing as. Kazuya is a classic, you know? I love Paul. I love Steve Fox. But Victor feels so clean. He feels like you can almost, this is going to be a really weird thing to say, it feels like in all his animations, you can feel the skill that he has put into each move. I think Tekken can be a bit weird because you have characters like Jack who are like flailing around, or sometimes an animation is weird where it looks like someone is like tripping over themselves. But all of Victor's animations are completely to the chest when he needs to be, and outward and big when it needs to be, almost as though it's a tactical advantage. I've spent hours on end practicing combos with him, and they're so fun. He has one that I really like where he starts the launcher with a knife, he punches you 2 times, he takes his cyber sword scabbard and knocks you in the face with it, then he kicks you and hits you with an energy beam, shoots you with a gun, and then slashes you with the sword. And even though you might not be able to, like, imagine that, you can see what type of character Victor is. He's a jack of all trades, master of none, but almost as better than master of one. He only uses his knife when he needs to. He only uses his sword when he needs to. He can kick. He can punch. He's so much fun to play. He's one of the coolest design characters, too. I think we should all, like, put our characters in the chat. He just made me realize that, like, Tekken is technical, right? Tekken is hard to play. Doing combos with, like, all these different inputs is hard. But when you find the right character, when you get to hit that ult where he, like, slashes you in half and blows you up, and when you get to hit that knife into punch, into scabbard, into kick, into gun, into sword combo, you realize fighting games fucking rule. And that is why Victor Chevalier wins my award of the Metagross Award. Also, if he was a Pokemon trainer, I think all of us who know Tekken can agree that he would have a Metagross.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He like carries a Metagross like practically.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well, hard to argue with that, and I fully agree. I think the detail in Tekken 8 is truly above and beyond, and like what you talked about was just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
David.
all right.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Gonna put in, I just said I'm going to put in a few GIFs of him.
I beat you to it.
Oh, thanks, baby. Oh, yeah, and his fucking, like, undertitle is Refined Violence, which is cool as fuck. But that's what he looks like. I'm going to put some GIFs of him in action. In the meantime, go ahead, Dav.
With the Kiryu Kazuma. Award for Dav's favorite playable character of the year.
Yep. Here are the nominees for the Kiryu Kazuma Award. Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Astrobot, specifically the cat outfit from Astrobot. Will from Metaphor ReFantasio.
Ah, thanks, Dav.
Indiana Jones from Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And Watcher from 1000 Times Resist. And the award goes to... Hold on, I have to make sure I got the picture ready to go out at the same time as this. Will from Metaphor ReFantasio.
So I have a 2 in 3 chance of winning this award.
Shut up.
Here's why Will win this award. Metaphor, in a lot of ways, as I said when I toasted it last time, is like Persona perfected in a lot of ways. The combat is just so much fun. It's a lot more like active. I feel like in Persona you can have a tendency to just get locked into a specific strategy and kind of turn your brain off for a bit. But Metaphor is quite a bit more difficult in some ways and just a lot more strategic overall. The playing around with turn icons and such is just so much fun. And Will, as this main character's default name is just a really great kind of personification of that. He looks very similar to like the Persona 3 protagonist, which is great because, you know, I love the Persona 3 character designs. It just has that kind of Atlas charm to it, very well designed. There's a lot to the combat that I didn't even mention last time because it's like there's so much they did to take this just 11 steps above anything they've ever done before. And, you know, there's things like the synthesis skills. There's dozens of these of just mixing up the different archetypes that each person has in your party and kind of seeing what skills kind of are produced from that. While they aren't necessarily on the, I guess, specific animation level of like the Theurgies from Persona 3 Reload, they're still very well animated and creative, and it just really... it makes you just want to mix up the archetypes all the time and just experiment and see what can be done with it. And so I've never really been quite so sucked into a JRPG's systems like this. I feel like I usually try to ignore something just to get through it, but I just really felt immersed in all this. And Will as a character is just a refreshing sort of new character for this for Atlas JRPGs in general, because he is much more voiced than something like the Persona 5 protagonist. He says quite a bit more, but there's a sort of a balance there. You know, I feel like he's overall got extremely good motivations as sort of the anti to Luis Guillaburn's antagonistic ways, kind of fighting for justice and trying to make the world a better place, and it's extremely motivating, and I just really loved every minute with this game, and especially with playing as this character. So that is my nominee.
Sounds exquisite. Thank you. So,
Kiryu-chan.
that brings us to the Chun-Li Award for my favorite playable character of the year. The nominees are Leroy Smith from Tekken 8, Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic X Shadow Generations, Agent Smith in Multiverses, Astrobot in his self-titled game, and Magic from Marvel Rival. And the Chun-Li Award goes to Shadow the Hedgehog. Largely because of the principle and the simple fact that we finally have a an undeniably pretty good game where you play as Shadow. I like Sonic Adventure 2 as much as the next schmo. I don't know if it's actually like a great game. Sonic Heroes, kind of, sort of. Shadow the Hedgehog, don't get me started. So they finally said, hey, maybe people would love Shadow if he was playable in a game people wanted to play. And they made the Shadow Generations campaign in Sonic X Shadow, and it's precisely what that needed to be. I also feel in some games Shadow can just feel like Sonic, like there's not a huge amount of difference. This is the first time I felt true distinction between the way Shadow moves and fights and how that's different from Sonic. He's more prone to teleporting straight up for his homing attack. With the Doom, you get Doom moves as you level up, and he gets Black Ooze. He kind of becomes Venom for like these long reach attacks, and he can make wings and surf. It's the realization of I think the premise of Shadow from the beginning. It's I think the first time where it's like, oh, I want to play as fucking Shadow. Like he just feels more realized here than ever before. Fitting alongside his blockbuster debut year as well. Um, so atop all that, I hope he takes pride in taking home the Chun-Li Award for my favorite playable character of the year.
I'm the coolest.
Well, I didn't expect Shadow to be there, but hey, you live and learn.
Yeah. Right. So last year, Dav carried the crown for playable fighters.
With Puss Out.
Yeah. Oh, unfortunate that Jolie couldn't be here this year because Shadow's in a similar vein. Probably could have won this one. But let's see how it goes. Brandon, it's back to you. Where do you direct your vote? And I'll review, sorry. Will's selection of Victor Chevalier from Tekken 8. Dav's selection of Will from Metaphor Fantasio. And my selection of Shadow from Shadow Generation.
By the way, you gotta put your picture in the chat.
Everyone knows what Shadow looks like.
Okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
I don't know. I'd be curious to try and play a Shadow because I do really like him as just a character overall. But from like what I'm seeing in the chat of Victor, I think he looks really cool. Like he is basically just a John Wick character, and I love that archetype. So I think I'll have to go with him.
He very much is just like a French John Wick with a sword.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Pretty much John Wick as a hedgehog.
Oh, yeah.
This is voiced by Keanu Reeves in the film, the movie.
Jay, where do you direct your vote?
See, this is really tragic because Astrobot definitely deserved this award. And I'm never gonna forgive you personally. But I do want to vote Shadow for Puss Out. This is really hurting me. But I can't let you get away with the Astro snub. So I think I'm gonna go with Will from ReFantasio.
Okay, great. I won. Jay went with me. I won.
I'm so sorry for Astrobot for this sin that was committed against your name. So I'm gonna give it to Will.
Okay,
right.
thank you, babe. Thank you for giving it to me. All right, okay.
Troy.
And maybe it's because like I'm also kind of I have more experience at playing Sonic games with Shadow, and because I saw Sonic 3 and he was awesome, so I'd have to go with Shadow.
Oh fuck, we're in the same situation again. Okay, everyone in the chat, rank the three of them.
It's gonna be this all night. There's three-way ties all night.
No, wait. Actually, I won because Jay said they voted for Will, so I win.
No.
I did specify from Metaphor.
I'm joking.
Jay put in the chat a picture of an Astrobot plushie with the text reading whatever.
Okay, so I guess let's start. Brandon, who's number 2 for you? You said Shadow?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Shadow.
Okay. Jay.
I'm putting it in the chat, right?
I think you could just say it out loud, right?
Yeah, say it out
Okay,
loud.
well
Let's just
then,
do that.
since there was a tie, I will change my vote to Shadow.
All right, that means Shadow takes it.
All right. Well, I am what I am. The winner of playable character of the year is Shadow the Hedgehog. All right. This brings us to our wholesale full awards for entire pieces of media, where the original Toasties were founded. So we're kind of winding down. Be ready. Will, it is time to present your nominees for the Back to the Future Award for your favorite movie of the year.
All right. The nominees for the Back to the Future award are Nosferatu, Heretic, The Substance, Hundreds of Beavers, and The People's Joker. And the winner is Hundreds of Beavers. Because let me tell you something. Hundreds of Beavers got hundreds of laughs from me. I have not laughed at a movie that hard since Airplane. Hundreds of Beavers is a live action Looney Tunes-esque cartoon about a guy going hunting that, strangely enough, has like video game elements, and it is hilarious front to back. Not a single joke in this movie just doesn't hit. The titular beavers and all the animals are just played by guys in suits. There's a ton of like funny green screen effects where like the main guy's climbing up a tree. There's songs. There's like really funny takes on honestly like the silent cartoon formula. There's they do the thing that I love where like they make fun of like the way someone's lips move, and then like they put the title card after them of what they're saying. There's a scene where it's like, you know, silent and a character's like getting really mad, and then two characters just look at each other and then they audibly say pardon. This movie is such a riot. It's just like I don't quite know how else to explain it, because it doesn't have deep themes, you know? It's not a movie that you're gonna come out and like think about the place of humanity in the universe. But you will come out having laughed your ass off, because Hundreds of Beavers is great from start to finish. It really has to be seen to be believed. I think the biggest parts of it that I liked were that I think the visual gags are done extremely well. The way that they kind of tinker with the formula of a silent movie/cartoon is really funny. And the performances are all perfect. It's made on a budget, which you can tell, and it doesn't distract from the movie. If anything, it kind of adds to it. So the award for the Back to the Future Award goes to Hundreds of Beavers.
Can't argue with that. David, you shall now present the Train to Busan Award for your favorite film of the year.
Okay, well, the nominees are Furiosa, Robot Dreams, Look Back, The Substance, and Hundreds of Beavers. And the Train to Busan Award goes to Hundreds of Beavers!
Yeah, let's go, Beaver Sweep!
It couldn't really, I mean, one thing that I will say is that it's interesting that the best movie of the year technically did not premiere this year. I believe this premiered in, what, like 2022?
I think so,
like that.
but
Maybe
like
23.
it was in like licensing hell for a while, right?
Yeah.
It's just indie movies like those have a hard time finding distributors sometimes.
But yeah, I mean, it's
It appeared like several at some film festivals or something before it found its distributor.
Right, yeah. But yeah, I'm glad we finally got an accessible way to watch it. It is like basically like Will's been saying, it's just hilarious. It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It's just super creative and really fun to watch. I've rewatched it like 4 times at this point. Um, so yeah, I mean, there were a lot of great competition. I mean, like Look Back was really something else. Um, but Hundreds of Beavers, man, I can watch that anytime and just have a really great time watching it. So it's got to be the nominee for me as well.
Right? So so that's already 2 votes for Hundreds of Beavers, even against even without our judges' consideration, which we'll still dip into. I do want to point out that last year we were in a similar situation where you both had the same favorite film. I think, to my understanding, more transparently, you both would have selected Across the Spider-Verse. But Dav, I think you felt strongly enough about Godzilla minus one that you could level the playing field a bit and represent that one. And your love for Hundreds of Beavers is so intense that that simply hasn't occurred this year.
Because Hundreds of Beavers fucking deserves it.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Well, it's time for the Kill Bill Award for my favorite film of the year. The nominees are Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, The Fall Guy, Civil War, Megalopolis, and Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. And the Kill Bill Award goes to Furiosa, a Mad Max saga.
What? No.
I watched that movie again today in preparation of my statement in regards to defending my choice today. There's some people who think Furiosa is too long, and I say eat a dick. There's some people that think it's worse than Fury Road to a point of detriment, to which I say eat a dick. There are people who think Anya Taylor-Joy is underutilized and miscast in the role, to which I say eat a dick. There's people who think that Crims Hemsworth's masterstroke of performance as Dementis is too cartoony. There's people that think the action is too cartoony and rubbery and that the CGI is bad compared to Fury Road. To which I say, get on those dick-eating gloves, open up a bowl, and eat a dick. Dumb shit. Furiosa is everything that could be an amazing... Like, I think of it kind of on the scale of like watching Furiosa in theaters is like how it must have felt to watch Terminator 2 in theaters, where it's like, yeah, it's like a follow-up slash sequel, but like the director clearly just had it in the tank for so many years. And it took a long time because it was fucking ready when it was ready. It's in my top 4 still. And when I first made that change, I thought, am I being a little rash? Then I watched it again today, and I saw the Bomby Knocker tangle the Octobos's big balloon into its coils on the highway of the road fury, and I knew that just could not be the case. So the Kill Bill Award goes to Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, a film that I'm very normal about. All right, so we now turn to our judges. It is current, and we are counting as separate votes, simply a race between Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, and Hundreds of Beavers, 2-1 at the moment. Brandon, where do you draw your vote?
That's really tough. I mean, Furiosa really like scratches an itch for me. Like, I want to see more of Mad Max films, but Hundreds of Beavers is also like really refreshing and creative and just something different. I think I have to go with Hundreds of Beavers.
Jay, where shall you cast your vote?
I'm surrounded by hundreds of bitches. Jesus Christ. I saw Fury Road one time, and it's because I could not sleep last night, and I knew that the Toasties were today. And the movie was okay. So I'm voting for Fury Road. I'm voting
Furiosa?
For Furiosa. Yeah, that's what I meant. I like Hundreds of Beavers. It's fine. But like I'm not obsessed with it. It's Looney Tunes, and I don't like the Looney Tunes. I'm just not a fan of like that slapstick style of comedy. It is very funny. It's insanely creative. It is the peak of that genre. I don't like that genre, so I'm going with Furiosa.
Fair. Troy.
I was today years old when I found out Jay does not like Looney Tunes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play some football.
So that means, sorry, it's 3 for Beavers, 2 for Furiosa. So we either enter a tie or Troy
We're not
edges us
entering
one
a
way
tie.
or the other. Well,
Yeah,
no.
we're not.
Well, no, yeah. Well,
You know,
Troy,
we're not
before Troy, before you vote, I have prepared a statement.
like an in memoriam segment.
I feel humbly and openly that Furiosa is all of folklore distilled to its most simple, broad ideas, played to the maximum of what cinema can allow, and communicable beyond universes and beyond cultures and beyond experiences, while also feeling fully innovative in its strokes within that umbrella of understanding, and is the closest thing we could have to a modern Odyssey, and that Hundreds of Beavers is a cute novelty. Okay, Troy, cast your vote. I just need to
Troy, I've
need that on the
also
record.
I've also prepared a speech. Remember the scene when like all the beavers are chasing the main guy? All right, make your decision.
Like that was the best shot. That was the best shot of that film. Is them chasing after him. Have you prepared a statement, Dav?
You remember when they turn into a giant, like, beaver Voltron?
Yeah. This is gonna be tough. Like, I mean, Mad Max. I mean, Furiosa was awesome. I mean, like Furiosa was awesome, and it deserved better at the box office.
Also
Troy,
true.
can I give a statement for real quick?
Go on.
Just for a few seconds. How funny would it be if we got 3 ties in a row? All right, and that's it.
No, Troy, I know.
I also don't know how we'd break this one because we can't rank 2 things.
Yeah. Well, let's
wheel.
let Troy make his decision. Troy, which one did you personally like more? It's up to you.
I mean, yeah, Furiosa was awesome. Like Anya Taylor-Joy, like that ending, like without. Can I spoil it or?
It's 6 months old. I think it's fine.
Okay, for those of you who have seen it, and stick around. For those of you who haven't watched the movie yet, maybe skip ahead
Plug your ears for like a few seconds.
or mute it. Press M on your keyboard. Like it ends like the ending is Chris Hemsworth with a tree growing out of his body, and like
It's pretty gruesome.
it's artistically gruesome.
So where does your award float, Troy?
I mean, I figured Furiosa might be awesome. I went into Hundreds of Beavers completely blind, and I loved it. So, and I have to go with Hundreds of Beavers.
All right,
Beavers.
You know, I put up a better fight than I thought I would. I thought this would truly be like. I thought you would truly pummel me. But you know what? I can't be mad about this. The West Coast Toast and Roast film of the year is Hundreds of Beavers. This moves us to our Game of the Year award. Will, please present your choice for the Final Fantasy VII award of your Game of the Year.
All right. The Final Fantasy VII nominees are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Tekken 8, Astrobot, Balatro, and Fantasia Neo Dimension. And the winner of the Final Fantasy VII Award is, ironically, Tekken 8. I think we've all played Tekken 8, and I think it's safe to say that it is the best Tekken has ever been. Roster is fantastic, every character has so much life in them, and honestly, there's, as opposed to, other fighting games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or, Smash Bros, where I'm like, this roster needs some work, there's really only one character that I think could be taken out to, make it better, and that's Panda. But everyone else is so refined to the finest point. I talked about Victor, but every character is fun to play, and no two feel alike. Even though Reina and Kazuya both use the Mishima style, they both feel like completely separate characters. It's the flashiest Tekken. There are a lot of moves. I really like this, that there are a lot of moves with fair hitboxes. They don't, reach across the screen, but they're really flashy. And it makes it more fun to watch than any other Tekken. On top of which, it's a ton of fun to play. Every character, like I said, just has so much life in them. Every character gets a redesign that I would say is, besides maybe, Steve Fox, the best any of the characters have looked. Kuma gets Heihachi's old gi. Paul got out of his gi and is just riding around in a biker jacket. And on top of the fact that every character is fun to play and it truly feels like, some good-ass Tekken, it has a story mode and the story's fantastic. It kind of, I wouldn't say brings a close to, but ends a chapter of the Mishima Saga. In the final battle, it's Kazuya versus Jin, and I believe an 8-round fight. Between these rounds, they transform. You get to play as Angel Jin, which is fucking awesome. Every character pretty much gets a chance to shine, even if it is just in their arcade tower. Like I said, the new characters feel like they fit right at home, and they're... Go ahead.
I want to say, with that final battle, too, the way they use music and even just things like Jin's fighting style to communicate things to you within the gameplay without obstructing it is some of the greatest shit of all time. That's not an exaggeration.
100% agree with you. Yeah. The way they use, Tekken 3 music. And, there's cool moments with, Raven and Victor and all the guys. Martial Law gets a bit of character assassination, but it's martial law, I guess. The customization, and I think this is one that we all probably know about, the customization is really top tier. In Mortal Kombat and stuff, they've had, gear systems and stuff, but it's always felt a little hollow and weird. Tekken 8 has a fantastic customization system. I know when Brandon was over here, he made One Punch Man. I turned Paul into Terry Bogard. Jay made a bunch of the Doctors from Doctor Who on a few characters. It's really like no other. And the fact that it's so fun to play on both a casual and more competitive level really makes it feel like this is, and this might be a bad comparison, but it honestly feels like the traditional fighter version of Smash Bros. In that it's goofy, it's wacky, but there's a lot of skill involved, and first and foremost, it's fun to play. And that is why the Final Fantasy VII Award goes to Tekken 8. Off Wonderful. To you, Gav.
Yep, okay. This is going to be the Yakuza 0 Award for the best video game of 2024. And the nominees are Persona 3 Reload, Metaphor ReFantasio, Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. And the award goes to Persona 3 Reload. This is a game that I have been waiting for a very long time. I mentioned like in some of the earlier episodes of the podcast how it would be so cool if they remade Persona 3 with like all of the quality of life improvements of like a Persona 5, and how that would probably be the best Persona game ever. And then they did that, and it turned out I was right, because Persona 3 Reload is the best Persona game, and it's just like almost everything I wanted. Because for a bit of honesty on this release, it is not the definitive Persona 3 experience. The female main character is not present, but there's like modders.
She's hanging out with
it.
Drake.
We don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about that.
So yeah, she got canceled, so she's not in the game. But they did bring back...
I heard that she like couldn't be in the game because she like flew over to an island or something.
Oh my god. Wait, is this about the character or like what, the actor?
No, it's the character. It's the
Okay.
in-lore character.
I see.
And that may very well have been a factor in why she wasn't brought back, because, you know, how do we address the fact that in the original game you could date a 10-year-old if you played as the female main character? Huh.
Oopsie.
But, you know, modders are putting her back in, and other than that, we did officially get The Answer as a DLC. So it's not quite everything Persona 3 has ever had to offer, but my argument is that it is still basically the definitive Persona 3 from the male protagonist's perspective. It is everything I wanted and more. I love the way the game looks. I love how practically every single line of every social link is voiced. The voice cast themselves are fantastic, and it's just a lot more fun than like playing Persona 3 FES or Portable ever really felt. Tartarus, despite still being kind of a big grindy dungeon, actually feels fun to explore and fight through. Feels a lot better than something like Mementos from Persona 5. And, you know, like I said, everything is gorgeously animated. The character models are just on point. This is probably the best looking game that Atlus has ever produced, and I am just so here for it. I really can't wait to see what something like Persona 6 is going to look like. If they continue in this direction, it's going to be awesome. But yeah, plenty of quality of life improvements. The social links that were there before are all still here, but they're quite a bit easier to get through. And you can actually hang out with the male party members, even though they don't have social links, and still increase bonds in kind of different ways. So I just, again, I'm just so happy this game actually finally came out, and it wasn't just something that we were all kind of hoping for in our heads for the longest time. And I couldn't be happier with the final product. So Persona 3 Reload gets the Yakuza 0 award this year.
I almost thought it was going to be Metaphor Fantasio. It was sweeping up till this point, at least in your corner.
It's up there. I mean, Metaphor, I think, as a franchise, has the ability to like surpass Persona very easily if they continue making them like this.
Oh wow!
And once again, Astrobot has been snubbed.
Sorry, Troy. Well, big heads off to Persona 3. That takes us to the Mortal Kombat X Award for my favorite game of the year. The nominees are Tekken 8, Astrobot, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Stellar Blade, and UFO 50. And the winner is Astrobot. I simply think the mascot platformer is a lost art. It used to be Naughty Dog would make those every now and then, and now they just make movies that you hit buttons during. Capcom, kind of similar. Nintendo still, yes, but also is like dragging their feet in a weird way, and they're certainly not making like new ones. Astrobot does something that we've all been asking for, and they, to put it curtly, they made it look easy. Like, it didn't take, there's all this hand wringing over, is this IP relevant? Is it going to sell well? Is it going to have broad enough appeal when people want guns or whatever else? And Astrobot proved that characters like Knack or, I don't know, whoever else has kind of been an also, revived Bubsy. It's not that the market is against them. It's that Astrobot proved you can be successful by being just really fucking good. It's just that SpongeBob meme of they seem to like when I make a high quality, accessible product. There's just so much love and effort put into every corner of this. It just felt like precisely the game we needed, and it was this underdog story where it was like piecemeal teams kind of thrown to the wind and not given, to my understanding, a huge budget, and then it won Game of the Year. It was like the narrative we've wanted in gaming. I don't know if the industry at large is going to act on that narrative, but we got what we needed in that regard. And I think even if it was gameplay alone, it is the best game of the year. I think that narrative puts such an importance on it that I couldn't fathom any other game winning.
Very fair choice. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like we mentioned with the biggest like dumpster fire this year being Concord. I mean, that's kind of just the punchline to it.
Right.
And Astrobot lived happily ever after.
Yeah. All right. Now we swing to our judges. Brandon, where shall your for the West Coast Toast and Roast video game of the year overall? Where does your vote go, Brandon?
I think it's got to be Astrobot. I just really like the design of the character, and the graphics are really pleasing to look at, and the gameplay is like pretty simple, but at the same time, like, is having a couple challenges in there too, so it's not like totally boring. So I'll say Astrobot.
Jay.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious. I've been making these reaction images in real time, posting them in general. So obviously, I'm going to go with Persona 3 Reload. It's me. It's the best game of the year. If it was nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards, I would have voted for it then. Persona 3 Reload is... I mean, I haven't gotten very far in it, but it's Persona 3, but Persona 5. That's like the best formula you can have. It's phenomenal.
Exactly.
You were so fucking mad at me about Astrobot earlier.
Because that was the only time I was going to vote for him.
Oh my god. All right. Troy, it's up to you now.
So Will, did we play Tekken when I was in California?
Yeah, Troy, remember we turned Kuma into Winnie the Pooh?
Oh, I did.
You remember that?
Vaguely. Yeah, I mean, like Astrobot looks like a lot of.
Oh, you played it at my house. It doesn't have to look like anything. You played it.
Yeah, I've played Astrobot at Tommy's place and Dav's place, and it was just so much fun. I just loved like looking for the different robots themed to different PlayStation characters over the years. Like, it's a love letter to the legacy of the PlayStation. Like it's just so much fun platforming. Yeah. I think I might go with Astrobot.
Right.
That's fair winner.
Then last year, who got game? Was it Dav's choice that got game of the year last year?
Yeah.
So, what game was it?
That was... Was that Hi-Fi Rush? I think that was Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, it was.
Right. So I guess we're passing the crown from Hi-Fi Rush to Astrobot, which takes home the West Coast Toast and Roast Game of the Year. Right. See, alrighty. Final rotation is for Show of the Year. We'll start with the Twilight Zone Award bestowed by Will.
All right. The nominees for the Twilight Zone Award are Chaos, X-Men 97, Agatha All Along, Ted, and A Bloody Lucky Day. And the award goes to fucking Seth MacFarlane's Ted.
No.
Are
you serious?
I fucking have not seen a lot of, like, really good TV this year. I think, like, Arcane was good. I liked Arcane. But god damn it, Ted was really funny.
Over X-Men 97, you're picking Ted.
Over X-Men 97, I'm picking Ted.
Bloody Lucky Day.
What'd you say, Troy?
Over a Bloody Lucky Day.
Well, you know. Here's the thing. When Seth MacFarlane is funny, he's really funny. And I'm tired of pretending he's not. We watched Ted at the New Year and laughed all the way through. We were going to watch it as a joke, and then it was just kind of really funny. There are a lot of bits that are just, like, very funny conversations. Like the dinner table. Oh, so it was that word. There's the scene where the kid goes, yeah, we did have one Indian kid at our school, but they got him. What do you mean they got him? It's just really fucking funny. I never liked the movies. I think that, like, I thought the character was kind of annoying. But then we've got, like, Seth MacFarlane putting his persona in this TV show, and it's really fucking funny. There's not really, like, a lot to say because I don't think, again, it's, like, any masterpiece. But I do think what it does very well. It's funny all the way through. It reminds me a lot of the Orville, which MacFarlane also did, which, again, when he's allowed to, you know, do what he wants to do and is passionate about it, it comes out well. In that it's really funny, but there are moments of, like, genuine heartfeltness. So that while we know the dad is, like, a stupid redneck who, like, is confused by political correctness, we also understand that he's struggling to be a good father to his kids and also is struggling with the fact that there's no magic in his life, unlike, you know, his kid had with Ted. So there are moments that are just, like, very good. I think, again, there's been some good TV this year. Nothing great. I don't think Ted is, like, in my top 50 TV shows. But goddamn it, it's heartfelt, it's funny. I laughed all the way through. Giving it to Ted.
So what you're saying is, like, Ted is an example of letting Seth MacFarlane cook.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you, Troy.
Yep. I've heard the phrase.
Said it better myself.
I've heard the phrase "let him cook," and that's what we did with Seth MacFarlane. We let him cook.
He found it. He found the phrase.
Yeah.
He sure did.
Someone gave him access.
Man, I like Ted, but this might actually piss me off more than a Hundreds of Beavers sweep.
Oh, God.
Come on,
Right.
Troy, you've seen the clips from Ted. You know what to vote for.
Well,
Anyway,
we need to learn what Dav is nominated for the Breaking Bad Award for his favorite show of the year.
all right. Before we announce the nominees for this award, I'd like to make an announcement. This award is having its name changed because I have officially decided, after thinking it over long enough, that I have a new favorite number one TV show.
Oh, damn.
And it's Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
So this is the Better Call Saul Award for
Now,
2024.
do the previous winners still have Breaking Bad awards, or are those retconned to be
No,
Better Call Saul awards?
they're still called Breaking Bad awards.
Okay. Because that would mean Better Call Saul would have a Better Call Saul award. I think it was your first winner.
I think it was, yeah. Well, here are the nominees: The Penguin, Arcane Season 2, Smiling Friends Season 2, Dandadan Season 1, and Shogun. And the winner is Smiling Friends Season 2.
Sorry, I was going to say I'm really happy about this because just genuinely taking your opinions into account, I felt it was robbed that first year from you. I almost feel like it's had this a long time coming.
It very much deserves it. I think this is Zach Hadel's best work. Him and Michael. It's just every episode is just kind of a different form of hilarious. Kind of just like the first season. It is continuing strong, and I'm really happy to see this success story from these independent YouTube animators becoming like these rock stars in Adult Swim. And I cannot wait for more. I mean, I hope that we get dozens more seasons of this stupid fucking show because I love it.
Aren't you with that? Sorry.
Well, Daniel the Demon Slayer already won the best guest appearance. I think that really speaks for it. There's great guest appearances on here, and he is truly the pinnacle of them.
Even as we like break out of like weekly, like whole season drop culture, it feels rare that there's a show where it's like, oh, there's a new one tomorrow. I just realized. Yes,
Yeah.
like, and this show like does that in a way nothing has in forever.
I think that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, Smiling Friends lends itself very well to like online discussion. So having this weekly format is definitely a big strength for it.
That it was like exciting that we saw Alan's apartment and someone could just be like, yeah, next week is Charlie's apartment. And everyone's like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Whose apartment we're gonna see next?
I guess
I think we can
Gleb's?
never. No, we can never see Glep's apartment. That has to stay mysterious.
I want to see the where the boss lives.
So he has
Oh.
he lives
See
in
like
that,
what he does after work.
live in that mansion.
Does he live there, or was that like his demon girlfriend's place?
I think he lives there.
Ah,
Because the demon girlfriend lives in hell.
Or at least she
that's a
did.
good question.
It's
I just
kinda
want
hard
to double
tell.
check
It's,
that. There
it's
may be
ambiguous.
some. Oh, fuck. Actually, the toasties are over. I gotta think this over. I gotta think this over.
Yeah, I'll see you guys next year.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
congratulations to Smiling Friends for taking home the first ever newly inaugurated Better Call Saul award. That brings me to the Simpsons Award for my favorite show of the year. The nominees are The Penguin, Dragon Ball Daima, X-Men 97, Season 2 of Smiling Friends, and the final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And the winner of the Simpsons Award is Dragon Ball Daima. And to tell you the truth, I'd say almost all of these other shows have some stake as to deserving to win more than Daima. I think Fallout could have squeezed in. I didn't even nominate Fallout because I just ran out of space. But that show could have squeezed in and taken it. X-Men 97, I think, is like the show of the year from a zeitgeist standpoint. I think that the final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm contains the funniest episode of television ever produced, that being the lawn jockey. I think that Dragon Ball Daima maybe gets some privilege from the fact that we did lose Toriyama this year, and it was tied to the release of Sparking Zero. So the hype for it kind of built itself. But when I look back, my first time watching that first episode of Daima from beginning to end was in our local barcade, enjoying an espresso stout on the release date of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, where everyone was bringing their PS5s into the barcade and hooking them up. And they showed Daima on the TVs, and we were all so united in our celebration of Dragon Ball and our love for that IP and the characters and how much we were going to miss Toriyama. Daima is the last work that's going to have any of his involvement. I don't know to the extent he wrote or did character designs necessarily, but there are key creative choices in here, as in like progressions for classic characters that he would have had to give his okay to. Meaning, I have like all that leverage to say it is like it feels like a continuation of Dragon Ball in a way Super almost got a little too bloated to. Like, I didn't catch up on Super till long after the fact. I'm like something about how Daima is kind of accessible and it's in kind of a weird place in the timeline where I think it's before Super, but after Z. So it's not necessarily about Goku getting stronger. It's more to the adventure element. It takes us to the demon realm, so it's an answer to the Majin Buu lore, the way Superhero was an answer to the Android lore, and a lot of Super was an answer to Frieza. So it does feel like it's that last piece in place. It simply isn't going to be the last piece of Dragon Ball media because it makes so much money. They're going to find a way to keep going. But it does feel really fitting that this is the last one Toriyama was involved with. So, kind of hand in hand with its winning of the Best Hype Cycle Award, I'm handing this one the Simpsons Award for 2024.
I gotta say, I don't know why Dragon Ball villains keep making them small. Like, it doesn't make them weaker. I don't understand the wish that keeps happening.
I do like, it does just feel almost kind of spur of the moment, I guess, the way Goma goes about it. He's just very cavalier. All right. Now we turn to our judges. Shall the Toast and Roast Show of the Year be Ted, Smiling Friends, or Dragon Ball Daima? Brandon, where does your vote lie?
It lies with Smiling Friends Season 2. It's just a
Okay.
hilarious show.
Let's go.
It's over. It's over.
Jay,
If I had a nickel for every time Seth MacFarlane added a self-insert persona into a sitcom, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Brian.
Oh god. See, these are really good picks. My obvious inclination is to go for Dragon Ball Daima, but it's not even finished yet. But coming off the hype of Vegeta in this latest episode is like kind of twisting my arm. I think I have to give it to Dragon Ball Daima.
all right. Troy, it's all up to you.
Troy, just come on. We know which one you're picking.
We don't even have to. Let's just pack it up. Let's go.
Yeah, come on. All right, that's a great Toasties, everyone.
Okay, on. I've only seen one of these, and it's Smiling Friends.
Fair enough. So last year I got Show of the Year with Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, and I'm passing that over to Dav as Smiling Friends takes the title of the Toast and Roast Show of 2024.
And that means that each of us won 2 awards.
That worked out nicely. Nice and even.
I feel like my main purpose here was to keep from people having like a unanimous decision. That's all I did.
Well,
I blocked
still
people
worth
from
it.
having a sweep.
It's worth it. Well, to close out, I have a new segment that we have not done before. I figure it'll be a good way just help us ease into a conversation about next year. I have written down statements predicting 2025. And you shall chime in saying true or false if you think it'll be true or age poorly. I have no, I'm presenting them without bias, just writing them one way or the other. Don't implicate me. But I thought that'd be a fun way to end this off. Are we ready?
Sure.
Let's
Yeah.
do
All
it.
right. So just say true or false, depending on how you think it'll go. Fantastic Four First Steps outgrosses Superman.
True.
True.
False.
That's so
False.
true.
I want to believe it's false.
I'd say false because like it looks very hyped up. Like it looks awesome.
I think my great hope is that people will really underestimate how beloved Superman is.
I do think Superman is a bigger draw than Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is
I
like
could see some Marvel glazing, like fucking with the numbers. I want to believe it would be Superman.
yeah. I'd like for it to be Superman, but I don't think it's going to be.
The Switch 2 completes its first year with no new releases for the following IPs: Donkey Kong, Star Fox, F-Zero, Punch-Out.
Those IPs.
I think F-Zero is going to get something. I'm not even like thinking about anything else. I think F-Zero is genuinely going to get something.
Okay.
I think you're delusional. I think you should take your medication.
I think F-Zero 99 is like a testing point, and I think it's going well.
Okay.
Paddington in Peru outgrosses Captain America Brave New World.
False.
False.
I
False.
wish.
Really?
I wish.
True.
But false.
But
That would be hilarious.
people are weird about Anthony Mackie, though. Do you think
That's
there's
what I
enough
think.
weirdos?
You think there's like? Do you mean like the racism aspect, or?
I think the racism aspect and the not Chris Evans aspect.
hmm
Still got Harrison Ford turning into a Red Hulk, so I think that's going to get 1 seats.
Yeah.
All right. Overwatch incurs a controversy.
Oh, true.
Yeah, all right. Moving on.
Guy
Okay.
is blue.
Well, I almost said, do you think Overwatch is dead next year? Because, like, Marvel
Honestly,
Rivals almost
maybe.
kind of, bam, like putting
I
the
think-
nail in there. And then Overwatch is going to do something like, Bastion is gay, and then just, like, explode.
Winston's non-binary. I don't know.
Lilo and Stitch is the highest grossing film of the year.
Oh,
No,
No.
false.
False.
Yeah, false.
You underestimate how much children love Stitch. If I said Inside Out 2 did as well as it did this year in a similar way, you'd have the exact same reaction.
true. That is true.
I think Superman might actually do better.
Wow. I'd be overjoyed if that were true.
Dab, I'll give you $20 if Superman outgrosses Lilo and Stitch.
But like Lilo and Stitch haven't been in the limelight in like a decade, and I still see people still find Stitch. Like kids who have no idea who like a lot of superheroes are, if I told them, have Stitch gear when Stitch hasn't been in a thing, and now they're putting him in a thing. I think it's gonna at least be a monstrous amount of money.
I think it probably will be, but you said the highest grossing film of the year?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do bigger than any of the Marvel stuff.
I agree.
It may or may not be a success based on. It may not be. It may be a success. It might not. Saying it might be the biggest success here is a bit far fetched.
Yeah,
Alright,
Tommy,
fair enough.
I agree.
Is Inside Out 2 still #1 this year?
I have no idea.
I think it's a #1 animated film. Is
You
it
want me
the
to look it up?
#1 film? Yes, please, baby.
I guess we don't have to worry about that. All right,
Fine.
Mickey
Okay.
7. Sorry, huh?
Yep, Inside Out was still #1
Yep.
this year.
I
And
feel
the
like.
highest anime film of all time.
All right. I feel like it could be. All right. Well, we'll move on. Mickey 17 underwhelms financially, placing it as a critical discourse martyr to the effect of Furiosa and the Fall Guy.
True.
True.
Yeah, true.
I don't see. I'm excited for it. I think people are going to be like, he won Best Picture and you let Dogman beat it. What the fuck?
That's really
Some,
funny.
I think
some form.
it might make some based on the success of the director who did this Parasite was such a big hit. They'll want to see more of him of his work.
But I think that's going to be what makes people mad, is they'll be like, are you kidding me? Because I think... We'll move on. Because I just think that the appeal of Parasite was almost retroactive after the nomination. Am I wrong? I could be totally wrong.
I do think you have a point.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think it's going to be great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be like that's the one that people aren't normal about underperforming. Some form of Twisted Metal gaming content is made to tie in with the new season of the Peacock series.
True.
False.
That would be cool.
I think on the slight edge that it is cameos in Astrobot. It'll be true. If we count that.
Oh, that is true, yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll still say false.
Yeah, I'll still say false.
Because I'm not that lucky, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Colin Farrell's Penguin will appear in the post-credit stinger of some DC work.
False.
You think they're going to keep it, like, sacred?
I just don't think they're gonna do anything with it until the Batman 2.
I kind of feel like they're going to do some kind of double dipping that they said they wouldn't. Like, oh, he might be in this other universe.
Also,
I could see that. Yeah, true.
We get a Beyond the Spider-Verse teaser.
False.
No.
I'll
That would
say
be
true.
nice.
I'll go against the grain. I'll say true.
I think it's true. I think it will be.
Maybe could possible.
Elements or reference of the Mario movie are gradually put into a mainline game.
False.
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 Wow.
I mean, a lot of the elements from the movie are from the game, so
I think
But
he
I
means
mean-
original content from the movie being retroactively added to a new game.
I mean something like Luigi's... This is a bad... Peach starts to talk more like the movie version. I mean something like that.
Or like,
I mean, like-
Nihilist Luma becomes canon.
Oh, that's what it would be. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dog
please don't do that.
Francis.
Bowser plays a band where he... Oh, no, I guess that's kind of sort of been there before.
I'm gonna say false on the Mario.
False.
Movie.
Okay. I think they're going to sneak in something.
Yeah, like
I have
Bowser
Odyssey
having
2.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
like Bowser having sex with Luigi like he did in the movie.
Yeah.
Sinners, either through success or failure, leads to Ryan Coogler being pulled to direct Blade.
True.
I think false just because that's so specific.
I think it's got to be what happens.
I think it's false.
Okay. On the grounds that, do you think Blade is going to happen?
I don't think Blade's gonna happen, but like I think that's too specific.
Fair.
I mean,
Sabrina Carpenter is cast as the voice of Amy Rose in Sonic the Hedgehog 4.
False.
False.
Tommy, God doesn't like bald people enough to let that happen for you.
It's going to be Aquafina.
I'm gonna say false.
It's gonna be Aquafina.
If it's Aquafina, I'm gonna kill myself.
I've said this to you all. My top choice, Jenny Slate, I think would be an amazing Amy Rose.
Agreed. Yeah.
I could see
Last one.
Yeah.
A major element of one of the following characters is majorly retconned in the MCU to unbearable discourse. Wolverine, Professor X, Gambit.
Oh, true.
False,
Well,
because I don't think
true.
that's happening next year.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay. See, it would be true if I thought that Wolverine was coming up in the next year, but he's not. Because
Storm
something
is
with
in
like,
What If.
with like Bone Claw or like Adamantium Wolverine, people would misconstrue either the comics or the show, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's a retcon," when it's really not, and it would just be unbearable and terrible, and you wouldn't be able to go on Blue Sky for the next like 2 months. So I'm gonna say false.
All right. So what I'm thinking is we check in next year and see how correct we were, and then I don't know, maybe we win a game. Maybe whoever gets the most correct wins a game of some kind. I'll think of a prize. We have 1 year.
We have 1 year.
1 year. Well, we're about wrapping up the Toasty ceremony. Is there anything else y'all wanted to do the say about next year as we wrap up?
Well, there were some things I wanted to add. Like, so like, which one for show? Because
What? Sorry, Troy?
Which one for show?
Shit show? That was Concord.
Oh, okay. And I also wanted to sing a song parody at the beginning. There is no life I know to compare with box office domination. Right out to in the Garfield movie.
What is happening?
I forgot the Garfield movie came out this year.
Tommy's
Okay.
seen it 15 times.
Nice.
I'm gonna throw out my list of things I'm looking forward to next year.
Let's hear it.
Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii,
Oh, yeah.
Grand
Peru.
Theft Auto 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Pokemon Legends Zaza if it comes out next year.
Is Grand Theft Auto 6 really locked in for next year?
Yeah.
Ah, damn. All right.
City the Animation, Dandadan Season 2, Andor Season 2, Daredevil Born Again could be interesting, Mickey 17, The Bad Guys 2, Ballerina,
Oh,
Superman.
that's good. Ballerina's gonna be so fucking rad.
Yeah, it's gonna
Sorry.
be great. Zootopia 2, Chainsaw Man the movie Rezark, and of course, Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Oh. The Monkey is gonna be kind of a Final Destination as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I'm looking forward to the monkey a lot.
It looks fucking rad. I'm trying to see. You named a lot of. I got Sinners up there for me. Let's see. New Dynasty Warriors looks pretty rad. Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves.
Oh, that's coming out next year, yeah?
Yeah, April. The Gorge looks fucking cool. That's the new Anya Taylor-Joy movie. And so does Death of a Unicorn.
Oh,
Oh,
that
yeah.
one does look
Fresh.
really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Oh, Wolfman? I think that's honestly
Yeah.
gonna be really cool.
Yeah, it could
Oh.
be.
That guy's
Oh,
good.
Epic Universe.
Epic.
What?
What
Oh,
is
yeah,
it? Oh,
Florida, right?
It's gonna be in Florida, yeah.
that'll be cool. Yeah.
I mean, I'm also looking forward to. I'm interested in like Jurassic World Rebirth with Scarlett Johansson. It's written by by one of the screenwriters of the original Jurassic Park, David Kep.
You don't say. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean,
That is a more positive note.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting Common Side Effects Include in February. That's the Adult Swim pilot that looked really good.
Oh, yeah, that does look pretty good.
Oh, the one with,
Not the Connor O'Malley one. It's
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we ever showed it to you, but it's Mike Judge who made King of the Hill, and it's Luigi Maggione's manifesto. It's about like evil pharmaceuticals.
Oh, no, I think I remember that.
Yeah, it looks really good.
All right. Well, if you were listening from the beginning of this recording, you know that I've been ugged this whole time. My dogs are fresh, and what that means is I have a $50 DoorDash gift card, and I'm about to go nuts in ordering a fucking post-show banquet. And I'm Tommy.
And this was the first year I lived as myself authentically, and I appreciate you all for supporting me through it. And I'm Willow.
I'm diabetic and I almost died this year, but I'm gonna do exactly what Tommy just said he's gonna do, and I'm deaf.
Yeah. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. We'll be back in January for another year of West Coast Toast and Roast. Hats off again to our winners. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the shrimp. The ones that killed Jimmy Carter.
Jesus.
Yeah, Tommy, what a fucked up joke. What the fuck is wrong with
He
you?
died today.
Yeah, Tommy, come on!
What the
Only
fuck?
100, you sick fuck.